you guys greet your neighbors and meet someone you never met before?
Good morning and welcome to Barefoot Sunday. My name is Linda Smith. I'm the Assistant Director of Youth Ministries, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome you all here today and let you know how happy we are that you're here. Today, you're in for a really special treat. Our youth are going to be leading us in worship and giving us some examples of how God has been moving in their lives. I'd like to let you know that in our bulletin we have some important announcements, but the one thing I want to really bring to your attention is that this Saturday is our Living Love 2019, and I'd really like to invite you to come and join us and participate in that. The details are on a paper in your bulletin. Today also is the Sunday that we would like to honor our graduating seniors from high school, and we have a reception over in Fellowship Hall right after this service if you'd like to invite you to come and say hello to them. We have also a year-end video for Barefoot to let you know some of the things that we've been doing and how we've been experiencing the youth this year.
Will you please stand and sing with me again? Before these all creation, the God in heaven, you are named. Informed in His affection, beyond His glory on display. In His heart is good, He's always kind. With the cross He proved, He's on my side. We are the sons, we are the daughters of God. No matter
today in the name of Jesus, your Son and our Savior. Lord, we do glorify and praise you today, not just for what you do for us, but for who you are. Lord, remind us to trust you with all the unknowns in our life. You're always there, and you're always ready to help us when we call on you. You're always with us, even when we're not aware of your presence. We give you our thanks for that today. Now, Lord, we invite you to look into our hearts and minds. Your amazing grace shines in the darkest corners of our lives and reveals to us our need for you. Your grace also assures us that regardless of our circumstances, we can be victorious through Jesus Christ our Lord. We pray your special blessing on the graduating seniors and their families. We ask you to guide us as we plan our next steps in our lives. We ask for your protection and grace to be with us. Hear our prayers, O God, as we pray the prayer that you taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. At this time, let us prepare ourselves for the celebration of giving
So if I haven't had the opportunity and the joy to meet you yet, my name is Brian Lawson. I'm the Director of Student and Young Adult Ministries here. And today we're going to have a couple students share with you a little bit about how they have seen God working in their life recently. And I hope that you will listen closely, because I think you'll hear grace, I think you'll hear love in there, I think you'll hear challenge, and you might even see yourself a little bit in their stories. So this time I'd like to invite Xander and Aisha to come up.
So I did, and I'll be volunteering for 5 years to come this summer. In 6th grade, I started attending the youth group, and Brian has been my youth pastor ever since the beginning. And he continues to be a positive role model in my life, Christian role model in my life. I've always felt welcome in the youth group. Youth group feels like a second family to me, and where I can be myself, and I feel right where I belong all the time. Mrs. Linda just joined and is working with the youth group, and honestly, I did not ever think I was going to join leadership or band or do all this stuff, but she saw something in me, and she pushed me to where God wanted me to be. But even though with all those good things happening, we can still go through some hard times, and God will always be there for us up. In May of 2012, my great-grandmother passed away, and I didn't spend too much time with them, to be honest. I only saw them every time we were at my grandma's house for like a week or so over the summer. And I realized how much he really meant to me whenever I did this, whenever he passed away. Have you ever lost someone and really did ask God why? Like, why this happened? What the heck, God? Well, whenever this did happen, I was asking that same question, like, what the heck? Why are you doing this? And I was confused during this time. And I had a lot of questions. Then I think God spoke to me through this. I love listening to his stories, and two that spoke out to me and stood out to me was when he entered the service at the age of 17 and lied just so he could join the U.S. Marines and serve the country the year before. And the other one was whenever he was in World War II on the beach and was found in the middle of it and got shot twice. Now I'm mentioning this because honestly I thought about how much he meant to me and how much he has gone through. And those stories kept me going and let me know that he kept on and he always did. And I want to make him proud one day, and I want to say I did, knowing it was because of him. Now, not everyone is going to have a perfect childhood. And there's going to be some bumpy road along the way, no matter what it is. The loss of a loved one, abuse, depression, anything that can really negatively impact your life. But God has an answer. You might think God is just giving up on you, but he hasn't. That isn't it. I thought that was it. I thought that he just didn't care or just gave up on me. But God is walking with me through it all. In reality, God cared unconditionally, and my great-grandfather was just one bump in the road that was just putting my foundation in love with God.
Hi, my name's Paige, and I'm happy to see you guys here today. And I grew up in this church, but I was always so negative all the time, and I really got sick of it and didn't want to live like that anymore. So I decided that I wanted to make a change in my life. It was something I kept thinking about. And over Christmas break, I went to North Carolina and went to Panda Express on the way home. And I got this fortune cookie, and it said, "You will gain something you have always desired." This was on the last day of 2018, and I did not enjoy that year. I'm one of those people who absolutely hates when people say New Year, New Me. But in a way, that was me. I began this devotional book called 100 Days to Brave and created a bullet journal to keep track of how I was doing. I began to stop thinking so negatively all the time and realized that things are really not as bad as people make them to be, and everything happens for a reason. I wrote about monthly goals and constantly just wanted to achieve goals. I wrote about positives and negatives and how I could fix negative things. I began to speak up for things and do the small things that scare me. A lot of people find themselves in negative spots in certain areas of their lives. Many people crave change, but if you want it, you need to go get it. God has worked in my life a lot in the past couple of months, from simply putting more effort in by reading my daily devotionals and having a more positive outlook. And thinking about all the good things I have in my life, even the small things that people don't have. You have to plant what you would like to harvest. Colossians 6:7 says, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall also reap." This is meaning that if you will give things a try, you can get it. It may not come right away, it may take pain, but that can't stop you from doing good things. I made another decision not too long ago to serve the middle schools at the overnight for Barefoot. I felt like I showed a reflection of Christ within me. Joining student leadership has helped shape me even more. People really want things, but they don't put in any effort. You can do anything if you just try. Plant it and it will harvest it from you.
Thank you both so much. We're very proud of them and all of our students. And I just have to say, we didn't get a chance to say it earlier, but we have some of the best adult leaders who get to spend time with them every week too. And so we're so thankful for that. As we hear their stories, I'm reminded of oranges, which makes complete sense, I know. But I wonder, how many of you grew up in Florida? This is your home state, you were born and raised. We have a bunch, okay. Did anybody grow up in the Midwest, Ohio, Michigan, anywhere? Okay. Now, little confession to you Floridians, you natives, to us Midwesterners, we know nothing about oranges. We just know we go to the store and buy them, and sometimes they're better than other times. And that's about it. And to be honest, I've lived in Florida for almost a decade total, and I still don't know a lot about oranges. But I recently had an experience with them that kind of opened my eyes in a new way. I don't know if you've ever had an orange that was freshly picked, but they're incredible. A few years ago, somebody brought them in the office, and we had a few, and Ashley and I had them, and we had never experienced an orange like it. It is such a vast difference. I don't know if this is the correct way to say this, maybe you guys can educate me later. But to me, the fresh orange was so sweet and full of flavor, and it's vibrant, and the store-bought orange, well, it's okay. It's just okay. But the freshly picked was incredible. And it seems like the freshly picked versus what you buy at the store, it kind of loses something over the time. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know a lot about oranges. This is just my experience. And I think, friends, that maybe we are kind of like that. That maybe sometimes we lose a little something. And we're not really sure what that is. Let me give you an example about what I mean. When we go on mission trips with our students, myself and the other leaders, we go and we work with the students all day long. It's so hot because it's middle of summer. The sun is blaring down. You're sweaty. You're gross. You've dealt with problems all day long. And when you're done at the work site, all the adults want to do is get back to our dorms as fast as possible, or whatever we're saying, and we just want to shower and sit in the air conditioner and do nothing else the rest of the day. Right? That's what us adults want to do. But the students, they want to stop by Walmart on the way back, and they want to walk around for an hour or two together in Walmart. Even though they're sweaty and gross and they've been working outside all day, they want to go continue to spend time together. The reason why? They are enjoying the experience. They are in all of the grace they're encountering with one another, and they don't want the moment to end. And yet us adults, all we can think about is getting back and being alone in the air conditioner for a little bit. See, I think we tend to lose a little something. And when I say we, I mean anybody a few years out of college and up. We tend to lose a little bit. And we also gain a few habits. One of those habits, I think, is this, is that we have life experiences. Some of us more than others, but we have lots of life experiences, and some are positive and great, and we look forward to them, and we love them, and they're wonderful, and we remember them. But some of those life experiences are not so positive. And in fact, we may choose to hope that never relive them ever again. But often what we do as adults, we take whatever experience that we've had and we automatically superimpose it on the present or the future. We assume that it's going to be like what we experienced before. And when we do that, it takes us down a road that I don't think we really want to go. And it's definitely not a road we want to stay. Let me give you an example of what I mean. A coworker brings up new ideas at your job. And everybody's like, no, that's not going to work. They never even talk about it. It's just shot down immediately. Maybe you were the one giving the idea, or maybe you've been the one shooting the idea down. Or a family member says, hey, let's have our family reunion at this new location. You're like, no, that's not how we do it. We've done that before and there's mosquitoes everywhere. We're not doing it differently again. Or maybe you have a spouse that just seems like they will never ever change. Or they've wronged you a few times, they load the dishwasher the wrong way 5 too many times, and they're never going to do it right ever again. Right? We start to make assumptions, and we start to think we're certain about the future and the present because of the past. Or how about this one? You chose to give money to somebody once on the side of the road, and then you saw what they used the money for, and now you're jaded because you felt like you were taken advantage of. And so now you automatically make the assumption that every single person you see is going to do the exact same thing. I know I'm guilty of that sometimes, and I think many of us have been guilty of similar situations. Your friendships, you fight, you lose a friend, you say, why bother anymore? Why bother? You prayed for somebody to get better, they didn't. Why bother praying anymore? It doesn't matter. You used to go to church, or maybe you're back at church, and there was a time in your life where I went to church and I thought everything was great, and then something happened, and so I decided church must not really matter. I'm not going to go because it doesn't matter. Again, we take our experiences and we put them on our present. And it leads us down a road that we don't want to stay. It leads us down a road where we're not really a pleasant person to be around. Or maybe we're full of a little bit of anger, frustration, bitterness. People might call us cynical. I'm that one sometimes. Right? We might become this person we didn't want to be. What I forgot that I think is important to say, what if you gave your time to somebody? Which is very precious, right? You gave your time to somebody only for them to walk the other way. And you'll never get that time back, so you choose never to do it again in the future. You see, I don't see students do this, but I see us. We do this. We do this. And I think over time, that makes us less vibrant, less refreshing, less full of life, and a little more like a store-bought lunch. We're still great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with us. We just miss a little bit of vibrancy. And I think we can reclaim that. And I think it's important for us to reclaim that. In Matthew chapter 18, there's these verses that talk about Jesus encountering children. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Never enter the kingdom of heaven. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like harsh words. Words that I want to take seriously. It's obvious that young people have something to teach us. That we might have more life experience, but they've got something we desperately need. In Ezekiel chapter 36, I think it referenced a little bit about what it is that we need. Ezekiel 36, verses 25 to 30 says this: "I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. I will cleanse you from all your impurities and from all your idols. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Then you will live in the land I gave your ancestors. You will be my people, and I will be your God. I will save you from all your uncleanness. I will call for the grain and make it plentiful, and it will not bring famine upon you. I will increase the fruit of the trees and the crops of the field, so that you will no longer suffer disgrace among the nations because of famine. Friends, in these verses, it's talking about a stubbornness. It's talking about I live this certain way, and this is where I'm going to stay. And my heart chooses to stay here. Even though deep down inside, I know this isn't right. That I know this is not the best version of me right here, because it is hard like a rock. And we are stubborn sometimes. I think Ashley will tell you that I am definitely stubborn. But it doesn't stop there. That's not where it ends. Instead, God says, no, I'll give you a new heart and a fresh spirit. Something that is soft, something that can be shaped and molded. Think the clay and the potter. Right? The clay hardens out, and the potter can't really make it and shape it anymore. And yet, if we're open and there's a tenderness and softness to us, then God is more able to shape and mold our lives. And this is what God is teaching us from students. Notice that it says after they get the new heart, the fresh, vibrant, living heart and spirit, that is when there's plenty in the land. That is when it's bountiful and there are crops. That is when things grow and change. Students teach us this all the time because they're vibrant and fresh and they're open and they're willing to hear what Jesus would have for them. Friends, I wonder if you're finding yourself in the spot right now where you say, I tend to be more like the store-bought lunch than the fresh lunch. People around me say, maybe I don't think so, but people around me say that I tend to be a little more cynical and negative and I am not open to the possibility of something new. And I wonder if that's you today. It's been me at moments. Sometimes I think all of us reach that point at some point in time. But God doesn't want us to stay there. God desires us to move past that. So how do we do that? As I thought about this, I was trying to think, what is it that the teenagers do, the students do, and even the children like in VBS, what is it that they do that we need to learn that will help us with this? And the thing that kept coming to my mind over and over and over again is you will never, ever find a cynical, bitter, angry, curious person. The curiosity does not exist with cynicism. You see, we need to encourage curiosity within ourselves. Students are curious all the time. They're always wanting to experience more and wondering, what is that like? Why is it like that? What if you and I reclaim the question, why and why not? Why don't we try this? Why not? Let's give it a shot. See what happens. The worst case happens is we end up right back where we are again. Worst case. Students and children are curious. Friends, I think we need to regain that curiosity. I think some of us have lost it over the years. Seek something out that you have never done anything with before. Something new. Try it. Learn about it. Be curious. This one will definitely impact some of you more than others. I think it impacts guys especially, but maybe ladies as well. We need to slow down a little bit. We've got to slow down a little bit. We run from place to place, things we have to do. We need to exceed, and we're always moving and moving and moving and moving. And if you're always moving, you never stop to look around, and you never can ask the question, why? Well, why not? If we're always moving at lightning speed, we can never actually experience what's around us. The students want to go to Walmart because they want to slow down a little bit. We don't need to get there yet. Let's take our time. Let's see what happens at Walmart. Why not? It'll be fun. It's life-changing words right there. Why not? It'll be fun. And the last one, I think, is probably the one that makes the biggest difference. We say, many of us, in fact, we celebrated Easter last week. And we say, Jesus is risen. We live in a post-resurrection world, and we are thankful for that. But but we don't necessarily live as though we're filled with hope. Because if we're certain about the future, and we know it's going to end a certain way, then we have no hope, because we know how it's going to end. Because when Jesus was put in the tomb, guess what? They thought it was over. They were certain Jesus is done, we don't have to worry about him anymore. Boy, were they wrong. We are post-resurrection people, and if we believe that Jesus rose from the grave, if we believe that Jesus really resurrected, then that means in every situation, in every relationship, in every work environment, every time you serve somebody, in every political environment, in every church, no matter what it is, there is always hope. And it has never gone away, and it never will. That's what post-resurrection means. And that's you and I. And if we want to live like children, we need to live as people with hope. Because if we have hope, then we're less likely to superimpose our past experiences on the future. Let's go to Walmart. See what happens. It'll be fun. Who knows? Right? This is what students teach us. If somebody has wronged you, and someone else comes along that reminds you of that person, don't write them off. Try again. Try with them. Somebody at work shot down an idea. Who cares? Try again. Here's another idea. A friendship that's turned the wrong way, and another friend comes in, and instead of blocking them out because you don't want to get hurt again, try again. You pull up to an intersection, you see somebody who's poor and in need, help them. Try again. 99 times out of 100, you might be burned, and they might take advantage of you. But one time, they won't. And the one time will change their life forever. Give your time. Give your efforts. Sign up for Living Love. That's an easy way that you can start serving other people. Sign up today. It's not hard. And it'll be a great time. And I think you'll encounter God's grace. Jesus will mold you and shape you if you want him to. If you're willing to be open to that. You know what I hear in Paige's story is, I hear in Paige's story a person who didn't like something they saw within themselves. And they said, this is not okay. I'm going to change this. And I'm going to change this with the help of God. Friends, if you're in that place where your heart feels hardened, people around you say you're bitter, frustrated, that you always think you have all the answers, maybe that's something you want to go to God and try to work on. In Xander's story, I heard somebody who faced an obstacle that they had no control of. Things in our lives happen to us that we have absolutely no control of. There's nothing we can do about it. And in the middle of it, Xander, instead of running and just being angry, asked God why. Why? I don't understand. And although I don't know he got a clear answer, what he did get was that Jesus never left his side, and God was mourning with him. And this is a reminder that no matter what he moves through, he can remember that God was there with him. I wonder, friends, what if all of us began to live by the example that our students show us over and over and over again? I wonder what would happen if we actually tried again and again and again, knowing that it's going to hurt, but having hope that there's a resurrected Jesus and this time it might be different. What would happen to us? What would happen to your relationships, your family, your work environment, our country, our community? What would happen if we lived as people who are curious, filled with hope, and soft hearts? I am convinced that one of the most dangerous situations for any of us to be in is this: to believe that we have mastered all there is to know about Jesus and the world around us. That's dangerous. Instead, we must work to always remain in wonder and awe and excited anticipation of what God is going to do within us and around us. Let's go to Walmart. It'll be fun. What's God going to do? It'll be fun. I don't know, but it'll be fun. What if we lived, friends, as Jesus-loving, hope-filled filled individuals who were curious, constantly curious, in awe and wonder and excited anticipation. What if all of us actually lived that way every single day of our life? I wonder how different things we experience would be. And I wonder how different Eldora, Sorrento, and Eustis, and Orlando actually would be if all of us lived that way. You don't have to stay as a store-bought nourishment. God will refresh you and bring new vibrant life if you're willing. Gracious God, we thank you for this moment and this place. For our students and our leaders, for their hearts. God, we confess, I particularly confess that there are moments where I live with a hard heart. And I think I'm not the only one in this room. And God, we ask for your forgiveness for that and your grace. God, open us up, rip us apart if necessary, to make us tender so that you can shape us and mold us to how you would have us. So that we can transform our own lives, the lives around us, our families, and our communities and schools, God. Lord, teach us to be curious and in awe and wonder and excited anticipation with what you're going to do next. In Jesus' name I pray.
Will you please stand and sing with me one last time? Your
May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.
Amen.